75 degrees downtown Los Angeles. Aerosmith tickets. Hey, I saw you down at TJ Cranberries. And a certain amount of joy goes into my soul because also that's Gruber's. Gruber helped me form my disc jockey impression.
Yeah.
With the addition of TJ Cranberries.
Okay. That's where you're going. You're having a personal appearance.
Yeah,
I'll be down at TJ Cranberries this weekend giving out
with the Y95 funny van.
Giving out visors and frisbees.
The Y9, that would be the Y95 funny van. That's for I guess the morning zoo. You could just be with Crazy Mike and the raccoon leftovers. Will be down there.
Crazy Mike and the raccoon leftovers.
I hope this doesn't bode. I hope this is an indication of how I'm going to be able to remember things for the rest of the podcast. By the way, good evening, Josh.
Hi, Andy. You seem a little tired tonight. That's my first impression.
No, okay. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
I am both tired and mildly disappointed in myself.
Why?
Which is my therapist says.
Actually, mild is that's an upgrade.
My therapist says, "Oh, good. Now we're getting somewhere."
Yeah.
No, because the thing is, it's boring. Everything that I could tell you now is boring in the sense that if you use the not boring. It's annoying if I use the information I'm about to tell you as a way of continuing being the type of person I am. Then it's just like, I tell Josh I'm scared and needy. I told him I'm scared about being late, but I always have
quite the preamble. Let me just say that, with this much setup.
Okay, so yesterday I came, last week I was here at 9:03, high-fiving everybody.
Right.
There was a general, it was so exciting. I even think Clyde took a trip down for it. Am I not supposed to say Clyde? Okay.
What are you talking about?
We don't have fake names for your dogs,
No.
right? And why would we have fake names?
I just know enough not to use them as passwords.
By the way, my cutie dog Lucky 222 is.
That's your password?
That's my password to my gay impression from the 70s. So, I came here tonight and there's always a part of me, and this again, I know you're going to be bored by this, so just get ready to be bored. There's always a part of me.
No, I don't think it's boring.
Yeah. Super yawn. Quick yawn. The part of me that's aware of what's happening with me is not the most compelling voice. It's like every day I wake up, I say, I'm not going to be, I'm too late already. And then I just spend most of the day trying not to get into that mode of giving up. and then
Don't
the
give
other
up, Andy.
right, and then the other part of it is I'm not unhappy. It's not I'm not my other excuse for not working on myself for years was I'm not that unhappy.
Well, that's good. There's something to that.
So I wanted to get here at 9. I wanted to get here at 9.
Right.
Because that's 9:03 is a nice thing, but you come in at 9 the second week, all of a sudden I'm a hero.
Oh, it's a trend, though.
Yeah, it's a trend. So the backslide on it is just I hate when I walk in. I hate when I say I'm sorry. I hate when I don't hate when you say it's okay, but I hate everything else that's part of the ritual because it means that I'm not changing my behavior enough. But then that's the problem. How much do I need to change my behavior? And the ball's in your court.
You weren't late enough to have this fucking conversation. Let me just say that.
Didn't I call you once where I lost my car?
You lost your car, yeah, but we got an opening to the show for that. That was a good story.
That really was a good story. And for those of you who find that to have been one of your favorite anecdotes from Thought Spiral,
right.
You'll be interested to know I went back to Macy's the last weekend and saw the area that I either got lost in or thought I had parked my car in.
Yeah.
And it brought back memories.
Good. Well,
you know what else? Don't expect holiday hours too when you go shopping at the mall now.
When it's not a holiday?
No. Don't let Memorial Day sales fool you, Josh.
Yeah.
It's not, don't let the Mother's Day sale.
Did you come rolling up at 11 p.m.
Well,
going, I need socks. But I need socks.
Well, the only thing that's inaccurate about that impression is I'm so scared. I'm so scared of the stores that there's no way I'm not the guy going, come on, you can't open up just for my socks.
Please, I need socks. Please. Look at me.
There are holes in my socks.
I have to go to Bonkers in Cleveland, and I have no socks. I have to take off my shoes at the airport, and my socks will be seen by everybody.
That's a horror. That person, whoever that person is, I don't want to be next to them on the trip to Bonkers.
Don't take Tiny Tim to the mall with you.
Well, you know what? There's something that's very charming about my personality, but then there's another thing that is not charming about it. So, like,
are we going to itemize these things?
Well, I'll tell you, for example, if I'm hoping that Lucky loves me more this week than last week,
right?
Well,
that's not charming. Yeah,
it's not charming.
No, that's needy in a weird way.
Well, okay, that's not what I'm expecting. I have an expectation that I will enter a room.
You really want her to try to leave with you one of these nights. Is really what you want.
No, but it's like one of those nights where you walk in. It doesn't. Don't you? I've never had one of these days where you walk in the house. The timer on your pre-timed coffee goes off.
Where everything goes right is what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay. You sit down at your desk. You answer 4 emails. And then you wrap it up, and then you do like those writers who go, right. Oh, after I spend 3 hours in the morning writing, I'm free for the rest of my day.
All right. So you don't have a lot of use for the word clockwork in your life.
I see light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I like the idea where and what's the deal with this? What's the deal with the light at the end of the tunnel? More like an oncoming train. Anything but. He thought this would make him into a big man. Anything but.
You're getting closer. You're circling around it. I didn't do that good of Vin last week, but
anything.
But it was improv Vin, so because I was doing the summit. So
I love this dog. Okay,
she's a great dog.
I know, but you know, there's a thing. You don't think you're gaslighting me. There's a chance that you are gaslighting me. Regardless of if you know what the expression means.
Yeah.
You're making it when that doggy comes up and shows what seems like unmatched love.
Hold on, that doggy is chewing on a paper towel. She shouldn't be.
Oh.
1 second.
See? I don't have to. Our relationship, that's why the Lucky loves me so much. Was that one of my towels? Let's blame me for it. Sure. Let's blame me. See, here's another problem with me.
You come in late, you're spewing paper goods all over my house.
Your dog could be choking and need the Heimlich maneuver on the floor. All I want to know, that wasn't my towel that he's choking on, is it?
It's a she. And,
she? Did I say he again?
You did, yeah. You're sitting there going, she'd prefer me to give her the Heimlich maneuver.
Is that what I should say?
Well, no, I'm just saying that's how self-obsessed you are.
How self-obsessed am I?
Why does she want you to give her the Heimlich maneuver? Doesn't she want me? And she doesn't
I
like
see.
Me enough?
But I don't even care about the whole thing with me is like, I just want the show. It's like, isn't there a movie called The Truman Show? I think I saw it. But is everybody putting on a show for him? Like they're pretending he has a life or something like that? Is that the plot of the movie?
Yeah, it's President Truman thinks he's on a TV show all the time.
Normally, you would have 4 versions of that, and you go, there's no way I'm going to do that. A Truman joke. But you'd have them logged. If anybody, the Truman Show. What's next? What's next? The Coolidge Hour? Calvin Coolidge Hour?
Yeah.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Did you just do James Adomian's impression of you?
You mean the impression?
The Truman Show? What's next? The Coolidge Hour?
Are you referring to the impression that makes me laugh so hard, and at the end of it,
you cry,
makes me
cry.
so sad. Yeah. It's so sad because it's really it's like finding out that Forster Brooks is not really an alcoholic. That's what it's like.
That disillusioning.
I think it's disillusioning if there are people.
And by the way, who knows if Foster Brooks was an alcoholic? He just wasn't drunk on stage.
That's what he says. That's what he says. Now, Dick Van Dyke admits to being an alcoholic.
I'm in recover. I'm in a two-step program.
That's the fun is you don't know where you're going with it.
But you can buy yourself all sorts of time.
I like that, but I do love the idea of the guy who does the drunk and then in his real life he sounds like an opera singer. That's what you were saying. He sounds like a British dandy.
Actually, by the way, the two-step program, that was actually a joke I wrote for Roseanne 25 years ago.
What was it?
I'm in a country, because she was playing at a casino that had this country music thing. I'm in a country music recovery group. It's a two-step program.
That's a great joke. I wrote jokes for her. She never took one joke. That's not her fault. The quality of the jokes weren't good. I don't think I'm a good.
She actually is. I mean, this isn't meant as a slag to you, but she is her actual baseline comedy sense is tremendous. She gets good. I always liked, even when she was doing Last Comic Standing, whoever would do that fucking show. You could always tell she was zero.
Yeah. No question.
On the good jokes.
I felt like it was very hard to write for somebody else, and everything I do, there's a certain amount of whinging and whining about it.
I kind of like it. It's a fun little exercise for me.
I like to write jokes for her, but
back then I wasn't. I mean, when I wrote for her, I wasn't. I liked the puzzle because it was like one of my first gigs in L.A. It was more like, oh, I hope she likes it.
Yeah, I've had nothing. I can't think of any pleasant experiences I've had, of the few experiences I've had writing for things.
I've had good ones. I like writing for other people.
No, but I mean, because mine were never used.
I mean, not you, but I like writing for other people.
No, but I mean, mine was yours were you. You had
right.
the love of yours being used.
Yes, that could be a hollow experience.
Yeah, if yours aren't used, then what's the upside?
Yeah.
Well, I have a problem sitting in a room with anybody, or I have a problem sitting in a room with people writing comedy and with most other things that you have to do to make a living.
I think our listeners understand that.
Wait a second. Even I didn't get that slam. Why would I say even I? Because I think I am. My new thing is that I'm slow on the uptake.
Sorry.
You've heard me talk about Prevagen before, right?
Discovered in octopuses?
It's been discovered in jellyfish.
Jellyfish, damn it.
So I keep adding material to that bit.
Yeah.
And one of the material that is, because they've done such a great job with evolution.
Right.
Jellyfish. See, it really angers me and delights me that they think just saying jellyfish would make anyone go, oh, well, if it's in the jellyfish, I want it.
Right.
And I have a million versions of them, but they're all weak.
Has a jellyfish ever made it to Final Jeopardy?
I rest my case.
There's nothing there, is what you're saying. There's no meat on the bone. It's a jellyfish.
Well, when I say the best one, there's no meat on the bone, you have to actually move the mic out of the way and signal me as if there was a fire going on behind me. Why am I so okay? Well, I think narcissists are usually. Has a narcissist ever been just like who in a duo?
Okay.
Could Bud Abbott have been the narcissist? No.
Yeah, he could have.
He could have too.
Yeah, he totally could.
I'm the straight man. I'm the real important.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, any clown can
can be a clown.
Do you think that Teller,
Ike Turner, for example, Ike Turner, another straight man who is not.
Who's Turner?
Ike Turner.
Oh, Ike Turner. Well, he went almost too far in the straight man.
Yeah, and the narcissism
and violence.
Oh yeah.
I think wasn't there.
Yeah, I think we all saw the movie. Come on, did you really just say?
What?
I think I wasn't there. You aren't willing to go through on Ike Turner beat Tina Turner.
I was kind of do a joke like, okay. I'm normally on Tina Turner's side.
We lost a listener because of the Woody Allen thing this week, by the way.
I can't. Okay, what would you? Okay, if you were going to say before this tonight that you were going to bring that up. What were you hoping my reaction would be? Because I can still see your eyes rolling from when I brought it up last time. Was that your fear that we lose a listener? How could you lose a listener over it? Was it? See, this is the problem with Twitter, or with any feedback. Please write us.
Exactly.
Please write us. Please. Oh, I don't. I never knew I was ugly. They said that's it.
That's it. They have to walk away now.
Otherwise, they were a huge fan.
They were on board, but they couldn't take any more of the both sidery of it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Josh. Sure. Because I'm prepared to read Lenny Bruce style from court documents. I don't care. I'm more adult than I was last week. I don't care about what people think about me.
Well, that's good. It's a good week for you then.
What's that?
Good week for you then.
Yeah. I don't think I was on the boards as much, right? Was I on the boards? The Twitter boards?
See you on the board.
You didn't see me on the boards getting in trouble, or
I went to this party once at my mother-in-law's friend's house. It was just something where she convinced us you have to come to this thing because it was close to our house. I think that's what it was. And so we go to this thing, and there's this woman who's part of the group. She was probably 80, and you could, and she had been in show business, but in an indeterminate way. It definitely her vibe was, I was an extra in 5 movies in the 50s. And my mother-in-law was like, yeah, Josh he's a TV writer. And she looks at me and goes, I've seen you on the lots.
I never heard that. Now, is she saying that as a slam or as a
as an implication that she was still walking the lots?
I've seen you on the lots.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's kind of makes it sound like you have what would be the current version of that? I've been on your soundstage before. Oh, I like that.
I've seen you on the lots.
I'll see you in the lots.
I've seen you on the lots. This very much I'd give you the secret handshake, but
this guy, of course I know him. How many times have we been in the commissary together? I like when you learn words like commissary.
Yes.
Because that's not something, that is a show business word.
And anyone who watched Carson always knew commissary.
Because the food in the commissary?
The NBC commissary.
And also we would know how the weather was in Burbank. And also that Burbank was not a happening town.
Not the most happening place.
Why do we both have boyish enthusiasm? Well, you're better at impressions, so maybe that's why you have more enthusiasm. But I wish I was better at impressions. I would do more if I was. Except not like a Donald. I can't stand Donald Duck impressions.
That is your gold standard of horrible impressions that you hate.
Elmer Fudd, I put on the same. Yeah. On the same. I think who won Jazz Caner? I think he won. No, Mark V. McCullen won Star Search.
Oh, right, because he used to do, I'm driving in my car, turn on the radio.
Now, what is that a cake on? It's Elmer Fudd doing Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah.
But how is it funny?
When we kiss, ooh, fire.
Is that the crowd?
I told you my 1987.
It was Killer Bit?
It actually was. It was kind of funny. It was a bad premise, but it ended up with Elmer Fudd as a Nicaraguan nationalist.
Oh, so it was social commentary.
Be very quiet. We're hunting Contours.
The thing is this.
Come on, meta at age 16 is pretty good.
I think it's very, very funny. But why? Why do they do the speech impediments in places? Couldn't someone just sound?
It's just a way of bringing out a character.
Well, why can't I get along? I go out for these auditions all the time. How come I can't get away with "Nope, don't mind if I do"? That's my new character. Don't mind if I do. Ask me if I like some coffee.
Hey, would you like some coffee?
Don't mind if I you.
It's Jimmy the Kinkajou. Hey, Jimmy Kinkajou.
Hey, Jimmy, that's fantastic. So,
Now you have to stay in character.
who am I now? Who am I? I forgot.
You're giving Jimmy Kinkajou.
Yeah. I have never. There's no way I could be in a play because I would definitely. That was my favorite night when I went off of the Macbeth script. I thought that I was the best that night.
Right.
Yeah, but nobody else on stage knew what you were saying.
Right.
That's it. Shakespeare would have loved that.
Shakespeare loved improv.
He really did.
Because if there's anything a writer likes more,
Yes,
than
and
improv.
yes, and take Puck with you. Is that good? Are you someone who's never actually seen? I should have at least read many of Shakespeare's plays. I think for a course I took once.
Right. You were a what major?
I was an English literature major.
Right.
But that wouldn't be Shakespeare necessarily, would it?
English literature? Nah, it doesn't really fall into that.
No,
Hello?
You know, the problem was I never took sarcasm. That's the problem. That's a very funny joke, Josh.
Oh,
Josh.
is it?
Oh, is it? This is my new Mr. Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein.
Oh, it's Cockney Boss.
Mr. Weinstein. Get into. Oh, I can't sustain it.
Wow.
The only good Mr. Weinstein I do is when I think I'm in with Scrooge.
You know how Patrick Stewart used to perform Scrooge, A Christmas Carol, and do every single character? That was like you, but you were doing every Dickens character in one sentence.
Patrick Stewart didn't do that.
Yes.
Patrick Stewart, the British fella,
Yeah.
is a comedian?
No.
You're saying that his acting is similar.
No.
Has a verisimilitude.
No.
How do you, if you never listen to when people talk, how do you eventually find out what they were saying?
I love Andy's Mr. It's no fun to explain things to me character.
Yeah. Isn't that what's...
Hi, Mr. It's no fun to explain things to me. How are you today?
Well, no, try it one more time. That's fantastic. Well, it was delightful no matter what it was, but my best sketch character is still the Mr. Weinstein as if he's Scrooge. And I don't know why I said that, but you just said that 2 minutes ago. Take to that. I like this attitude. I know you're spending 12 hours tomorrow editing. Make sure this comes out.
Right. I apologize for the length of last week's show, but
How long was it?
it was the Bataan Death podcast.
Oh, did it go over?
It went out the door at over 2 hours.
Are you? Is that the first time?
It came in at way fucking longer.
And so far the reviews are in.
Actually, a lot of nice reviews for 7 Steps Down song.
Yeah. Oh, I have a creepy story. It's not a creepy story from this week, but it may be creepy to you that I
already had a very creepy week, so go ahead.
Oh, does it involve me?
No.
Okay. Do you want to get to your creepy week first?
No, you do you.
Okay. I see Allison.
All right, yeah.
As she's pulling in around your home, but then she parks in the garage. I walk down that street and I almost had the urge to approach. It's like, don't jump off this high building. You've already had your interaction with someone. They just want to go home. I still was going to say one more thing to her. Like it was going to be pot oriented.
Yeah.
Something. I had a joint on me. And then I said, I'm only doing this to make that interaction that was already good somehow be better. And then another time I walked by your house this last week, I think it was yesterday, as the garage door was opening.
Yeah. And you just scooted by.
Someone came out, I think it was a younger man, and he didn't see me as I was huddled down.
Was it a younger man with a dog?
I didn't see the dog. Does he have a mustache?
Yeah. And other facial hair.
I think then I saw.
It was Elon.
I was Elon.
Yeah.
I think I did. But I thought it would be you somehow.
Wow. You You really got a great story out of this whole.
But here's the OC.
The whole walking past my house anthology is really.
Here's the whole thing that makes like an OCD thing is that every time I look over to see if you're looking, and then I think it's weird that I look over, and so then when I saw the garage open, I felt the need to run. You know, I don't want anybody to be catching me.
Scatter, cheese it.
Now, was your week?
It's the feds.
Was your week not good with that kind of a level of story?
I was inside. Allison came in and said, "Hey, I just saw Andy outside." I said, "You didn't tell him I was home, right?"
Did it brighten up both of your days?
It really did. We were walking on sunshine the rest of the day.
I thought that she was trying to make you see what I was up to. You're coming over here a lot. What's the problem?
Yeah.
That didn't work. So, what was negative in your week? Did you want to talk about it? You don't have to talk about it.
No, we can talk about it. My father-in-law passed away on Saturday.
Oh.
Or my stepfather-in-law.
Your stepfather-in-law.
Allison's stepfather.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Thank you. It was a long, as people here know, I've been mentioning the word hospice for over the course of a few months. So it was a long way out, but
like how long? Like 3 months.
It's like 3 months or a little more. I think in February actually is when they declared it hospice care. And
is this the first? Have I asked you this? Is the first time you've gone through this kind of hospice care?
It is the second time, but it was the first time we've had to deal with it in a long term,
right?
Like this.
And how's Allison doing?
Allison's doing well. She's doing okay. You know, it's mostly about caring for her mom.
Yeah.
But
and how's her mom?
On the topic of hospice care, let me just give the advice to people that home hospice care is honky bullshit. It is not. I recommend, don't overestimate the value of dying at home.
You're saying it's not so great?
I'm saying it's not a great way to go through this shit because there's just way too much pressure on your family at all times to basically manage the situation.
Right.
The nurse shows up like once a week, and if you can call if something happens, but basically you're on your own with equipment.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's really hard to deal with.
Do people normally think it's going to be better? Well, I guess it's just natural. You think
that's the thing.
I would think being home would be better for me.
The way to play it, though, I think, is stay at home as long as you can. Stay at home until you need 24-hour care portion, and scout a hospice in advance. This is, hopefully not for any of our listeners soon, but your parents may be elderly. My mom died in a hospice. She died, but basically just like the last week.
Yeah.
And it was really a very pleasant place. It was actually a house that was converted into a hospice, and so it was house-like, and very warm for family and people who visited, and very nice. And and I had asked my mom, "Do you care about dying at home?" She's like, "I don't give a shit." So that was an easy decision.
Right.
But, if you go to a hospice, the care is always there. There's always going to be people who are going to stop in and check on you.
Yeah.
You're not going to have this fear that something fucking horrible is going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's really a hard pressure to put.
Gaming scenarios in your head for what you're going to do and how it's going to go down. And so I've seen every kind of, not every kind, but I've seen like a bunch of different kinds of end of life scenarios, and hospice, like inpatient hospice, is a good option.
Now, does everyone who is that you've talked about this, do they agree with you about this?
I think so. Although I think Lee himself, my father-in-law or stepfather-in-law or whatever the hell you want to call it, he was fairly steadfast about being at home.
Oh, I see.
So we were honoring.
So when you were
honoring his wishes,
right.
But it all happened in a way that I don't know if they necessarily had the whole playing field of options available.
Yeah. Now, I don't even have a thing filled out with my wife about what happens. I'm sure you have that.
Yeah, we have a lot of that stuff. It's
You
not,
do?
not the complete checklist, but
Yeah, but my wife doesn't want to talk about any of these topics.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. And I reply with, well, that's pretty upsetting because I want to delve right in.
right.
And then she doesn't like when I get the papers together. I say, look, pull the plug, right?
All right.
Pull the plug. She doesn't go for that. I have never gotten a hospice gig ever.
No. I believe, as the boomers start to go, there may be hospice gigs.
I've been on just normally a JAG where I'm more concerned about death than normal.
Yeah.
But I just think I'm going through emotional things, but I got nothing but that. I don't know how to close the hospice part of the show.
You're trying to transition.
No, I also feel bad because I feel bad because I haven't asked about our father-in-law in a couple of weeks.
So that's where your head's at. Okay, so you're beating yourself up.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's what's so horrible about that. When I beat myself up about it, who am I trying to help there?
No, it's all.
Is it a friend and the family in need?
It's Narcissismo rearing his.
It's the great Narcismo. The great Narcismo. In this hypothetical
Andy.
situation.
Hello, Andy. Think about yourself. How does this reflect on you? I am Narcismo.
Well, here's the thing. I think it reveals a lot about myself, but I'll wait till tomorrow. Therapy to do it. But for some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about Clyde when he had his back problem.
Right.
But actually, you had two things going on at once, I think.
Yeah. It's been an eventful spring.
Are you worried on some level that when we talk about these subjects that we'll lose listeners?
Not like like the Woody thing. No.
Oh my God.
We've talked about serious. We've talked about issues in our lives before.
Now, when you bring up the Woody thing that in that last time,
Yeah.
do you enjoy that you get me going a little bit?
I wanted to poke at you because you had forgotten to ask about my father-in-law for some reason.
Oh my God!
But all in all, it's the thing about these situations you always see some beauty come out, and I don't mean physical beauty, but I just mean the beauty of being a human being, Some people bring their best to the situation, and you deal with this incredible cross section of angels and idiots,
Right,
when you're dealing
right.
with hospice care people, and it's just a lot of what, what Allison and I had to do. We were really wrangling and fighting sort of with the hospice people just to make sure that this went down the easy and correct way for Lee,
And that's just hard in general. That's like you don't want to be in a savvy shopper mode,
right?
While these things are happening.
And I don't want to get into all the nuts and bolts of it, but
you did have a couple of fist fights, right?
Allison's more apt to have the fist fight than me in these situations. But Allison was great. Allison was very assertive with some people, and she can cross over into bitchy at times in those situations, and she didn't. And she was highly effective. And
now you're going to get letters from women. They're going to say, "Do you say bitchy because she's a woman? Is that why you say bitchy?"
No, I think highlighting it really will help me out. Thanks.
That's not just me highlighting it. That's me also distancing myself when we lose listeners over it.
All right. Ooh, okay. Well, I've picked up on tonight's theme.
You have what?
I picked up on tonight's theme. Losing listeners.
Andy and Josh talk about losing listeners and the worst way to do it.
So that time when I was talking, you were thinking about back when I said we lost a listener because of your Woody Allen thing, as opposed to worrying about not caring enough about. Yeah, okay.
Well, I wish the best for every. So here's the thing. I think, not just with this situation, but I think in general that I do think I can't explain. I do think more about death than I normally would, but I don't. I'm not thinking about it like, oh, I don't think I should go out today.
Yeah.
I could have a heart attack. It's not like it's more like an aging thing, and I can't really explain it. As I'm aging, and I don't mean aging like too old for people who would cast podcast shows,
All right.
but I feel myself changing as a person, I think.
Well, I think that's
The way it's supposed to work.
That's how humans operate, I think.
Sometimes it goes the other way.
Generally, aging is connected towards death in some way, you know. At some point, you connect the dots.
No, but I mean that I feel that I am becoming more philosophical about death.
Yeah.
For real. As opposed to just saying it for lip service.
Instead of la 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 la. I'm not considering you la 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 la.
And I'm hoping. See, I hope that we go on forever. And first of all, I hope one of two things: we go on forever, but I also hope that we go on forever, but don't remember everything, because that's the part I think. I don't want to go through birth again. I didn't like the younger years.
Yeah.
But now I'm in my salad days. Now I love it. Now I'm worried, like, how many years left? I think for me, at any age, I could wake up and say, there's no reason why this can't continue. 10 more solid. I'm 100 years old. I'm going to get up and you know what? 10 more solid years.
Well,
that's what I'm going to say.
There's an argument that'll keep you going.
I call up and tell my friends that, and they've all passed away.
Yes.
Let's face it. Do you think Jews talk about death more than non-Jews? No, everyone does.
No, I think Jews, I mean, if you actually
they are more
monitored, you'd probably find a higher incidence of fatalism with Jews.
Let's just say things haven't always gone their way. Jews.
Correct.
Sometimes I think you're going to pick up a ball from me. Did you watch any of the, there's no ball there, but did you watch any of the U.S. Open? Because I did, and I enjoyed it very much.
I did too. Yeah, I watched a lot. I watched chunks of it.
First you watch, because I used to be a big Phil Mickelson fan. Now I can't stand Phil Mickelson.
So you must have had a field day.
In a way I did, although I didn't really understand why people were upset. I didn't get what he did.
Yeah.
And so, did you understand why they were that at first? Then they explained it to me. It's kind of like he hit a ball and then hit it while it was still going.
He hit a ball. He missed the putt.
Right.
And it started to roll away, and it would have eventually rolled off the green.
And he starts to run into the same speed with it.
So he was looking at it for a beat, and then he went. Boop. I think in his head he probably went, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
And ran down to the putt. Swung at it back towards the hole, and it actually lipped out of the hole.
Right.
And that's a 2-stroke penalty.
So, but yeah.
At first they were, and he, and his explanation was, what you can't do, you can't kick it or stop it. You can't change its direction, but there is a specific rule about taking a swing at a moving ball.
It's 2-stroke penalty.
It's a 2-stroke penalty if you take a swing at a moving ball. So I'm going to believe that Phil, 40 years into his golf life,
that's true,
knows the rule,
right,
and has considered hey, it's going to take me more than 2 strokes to get back to this spot, which it probably would have. Yeah. I'm just going to take the penalty. It's a crafty move. It doesn't look graceful, but it's a crafty vet move.
Yeah,
using the rules for himself. But Jack Buck, or what's his face, Buck.
I think it's Joe Buck. I think it's Joe Buck now.
Son, yeah.
You know how many people are not fans of him?
He just couldn't go on about how he's tarnishing his sterling reputation, and he's because it looked like a weekend duffer golf thing to do, like a guy who just it's like the same guy who then throws his clubs into the water trap and walks off the course, but. It's a total
or something you do when no one's looking and then you'll take less strokes.
Yeah, or whatever.
But he knows that. I assume he knows there are cameras on him.
But they were acting like he was about, like he did it and he was about to storm off the course. And no, he finished out the hole and he went to the next hole.
Right.
And it was a big damn deal.
And
within the world of golf.
I don't look at the news.
But those same announcers were then dubious about it the next day, like it was some excuse that he had retrofitted.
Right.
But I watched it, and it was like it wasn't like he snapped.
Yes.
It was like he
snap.
thought for a second and then started scooting after the ball and took a swing at it. And it's not like he just stopped it. He literally took a putt, he took a putt at it, and he almost actually sunk it.
Right. He did the thing where you put your
and then he marked it.
Yeah, which I always think, and you're calling that.
So then he took a 10 on the hole.
And you're calling that a sport? I think the only other argument would be that he was very frustrated, and it looks like he's giving up on the.
I think he was very frustrated.
Yeah,
but they aren't incompatible. He was so frustrated that he was going to take this 2-stroke penalty instead of trudging back down and still making a mess of this hole.
Yeah, so I couldn't get mad at him about that. I'm still not mad. I try not to be mad at him because he's a right wing.
I'm really curious whether Death Talk or Golf Talk plays better in next week's reviews.
Okay. So don't talk about the bowling league.
That's next on our docket.
PBS. I told you that my father and I used to watch bowling.
Did you watch The Wide World of Darts?
I never watched darts.
I'm just kidding.
But bowling. Oh, I know you were kidding, but I still felt the need to answer.
Okay. I don't know who looks worse still. Don't know.
What?
Between you and I in that interchange, I don't know who comes off as the idiot.
I think, Google has an analytic that follows that.
That would be a good app.
So far. The Google, I'm off the charts on the Google, how often are you listening analytic. I'm sorry. Would you prefer that if I said something unfunny that was quicker?
Yes. But I like the U.S. Open just because it makes everyone look bad. Yeah,
but it changes courses every year, right? It's not always shinnecock, right?
No, it's different course every year. I mean, within reason. They cycle, but...
Am I supposed to giggle when I say shinnecock? You know that the word cock means penis.
No.
So in certain languages...
I thought it meant rooster penis.
So when you see shinnecock, is that a joke name? Or is there a time period in the old-timey lands where people said cock more and it wasn't such a big deal?
You know who said it a lot in England?
Who?
The Cockneys.
Can you ever get a joke like that in, though, without me knowing it's coming? Because I knew it was coming.
Not if I do it in such old-timey joke shape, no.
Well, I will admit that I think probably if we did a segment in every show called Golf Talk,
yeah,
I don't think it would be good.
I don't either.
And Golf Talk, did you see the?
Did you ever play golf? Do you play golf?
I've tried to play a couple of times, and I don't know how to swing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take a lesson once.
Yeah.
How about you?
I used to play, and it made me behave towards myself in a way I found unacceptable.
You really? Would you get mad at yourself?
I would get so fucking mad at myself.
My brother does that.
So unreasonably.
Like while you're playing?
Yeah. Like it was just no fun.
And it
almost never was any fun.
How would that play itself out? You would talk to yourself? Like my brother does that. Oh, nice shot, Rob, like that.
Yeah, there's just there's verbal self-berating. There's internal dialogue that makes you hate yourself. And then there's a certain point where you go, okay, now I'm into the 4th hour of fucking hating myself.
Right.
I've dedicated my day to feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And getting a sunburn probably too. and I would end up just regretting it every fucking time I played.
Well, they say it's a frustrating sport.
It's a frustrating sport, but there was like the double frustration of both. You know, it's no fun to just suck. And I didn't even suck. I mean, I played with some suck golfers. You know, I was like, under 100 golfer.
Right, that means you could learn how to swing. I never learned how to swing.
But I had like these, considering how little I actually played.
Right.
The expectations I had for myself.
Yeah.
To have a game, was crazy. And I couldn't shake it.
Wow. So in other words, you could never say, look, I need to get better at this and nicer to myself. Was that is it because it wasn't that interesting to you too? Because that's what it'd be for me.
It's kind of, it's kind of not interesting in the sense that you watch pros and you go, even they don't have it. You know what I mean? It comes and goes for them completely.
That's so true, and they hate themselves for years.
And that's their life.
And that's
playing
their life.
This game. And I'm like, okay. Like I would, even if I was playing like those guys, I'd get unreasonably mad at myself still.
Right.
So it's like there's just no winning this game for me.
And that's how I feel about it, because there's so much pressure. There seems to be a lot of pressure and a lot of downtime in terms of thinking about it.
And it had a weird. There's a lot of golf baggage, if you will, in my family too. Because my grandfather, my dad's dad, was a lifer. That was like one of his raison d'etre was playing golf. To the exclusion of responsibility at times.
Was he good?
He was very good, and he, I think he did a lot of golf gambling, and he was a traveling salesman for years, and I think he gambled, he golfed on the road, and, he was, a golf.
What was his job?
Golf shark, I think, is what he kind of was.
Oh, okay. What kind of work did he do?
He was a salesman.
Oh, okay.
He ran a surplus store during World War II, and my dad was born in Biloxi, Mississippi, a military surplus. And then my grandma got polio, and so they brought her back to Minneapolis, which is where my grandpa was from.
Is it supposed to be better the weather, or what?
Well, no, it was in Minneapolis. There was a woman named Sister Kinney, who was this Australian nurse who was a pioneer in polio treatment.
Really?
Yeah, and there's now the Sister Kinney Institute in Minneapolis. But
did she help you?
They were housing. There was such an epidemic that they were literally housing him at these military barracks at a place called Fort Snelling in the Twin Cities. And so my dad vaguely remembered being held up in the polio ward window so he could see his mom and stuff when he was 3,
It's unbelievable.
And my grandpa, I guess, was shuttling back and forth between Biloxi and Minnesota at the time.
And did she ever get help from the polio?
She survived, and she walked with a stick for the rest of her life until she had a thing called what's called post polio syndrome.
Yeah,
which is common, and years later, some symptoms of muscle weakness become severe. So
isn't polio something you can catch though?
Yeah,
this comes from like a bug.
It was a virus, yeah.
See, we grew up in the shadow of many things that were fairly routine for us. Everybody would have the polio check when you were a kid.
Right.
But we thought
well, you'd have the vaccine. You'd had the vaccine by then, by the time you were a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember having it. But that's why people think these things are not going to be around again. But now they're saying that there's some pockets of areas where they're not getting people aren't getting inoculated or whatever you call it, vaccinated. And they could come back. Because I was listening to some podcast and they were talking about the plague.
Yeah.
You know how many people died from the plague?
Many people.
An unreasonable amount of people, Josh. An unreasonable amount. The type of thing that if I had lived through that time period, what would have been so great about it? Did you? Half my family got the plague. How you doing? All of my family got the plague.
You got the bubonic plague? I got the buttbonic plague.
Hey, Cha-Cha.
No, that was you.
Oh, that's me?
Yeah. Well, it was me doing Adomian doing it.
But it's like polio is one of those diseases that I was always scared of.
Well, yeah, because just before you showed up, it was like a big damn deal.
Yeah, and then they talk about FDR, and he seemed like a hero.
But they would close like public pools and things like that when there was polio outbreaks.
And they only had was there a lot of swimming during the dark when the plague was around?
I mean, the polio.
I know, but when they talk about the dark plague, that's how many years ago? That's like the Middle Ages?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't want to go backwards to those time periods. Which do you think is the worst subject?
You could get even more recent when we lost like 24 million to the flu in this past century.
Yeah, they always bring that up, but to me, I live in a dream world where I think that any chance of death from something crazy, but no, I lived in the AIDS epidemic. I've suffered. I guess, you know what? I've seen it all. I think I'm going to live to. I think that we are. Don't you? When you grew up, though, didn't you used to think of the old days? They didn't have enough, copper or something, or they didn't have enough lemon in their diet.
I don't know you, but we look better. We definitely look better,
and we're living longer.
You look better than 60-year-olds did back in the day. Like, I realized the other day, I'm the same age now as Archie Bunker first season of All in the Family.
Are you kidding me?
No, he was only 40. He was 47 the first year.
Are you? Oh no, he always seemed 60, 65.
Yeah, he was 47 when the show started, which was the year I was born.
So, what year were you born?
71.
Oh God! In 1971, I'd already lost my VHS tapes of Rhoda? No. I got to be able to come up with a year and a reference that immediately works.
I was born the day Marvin Gaye's What's Going On came out.
Right. And you don't have a memory of it then, but it is one of the greatest songs of all time.
Yeah.
And I have a thing where I still get sad. I can't...
About everything.
But I can't get past... I think it's silly in a way. Like, you say Marvin Gaye, I think of the fact that he was shot by his father.
Yeah.
When is that not going to be important to me? It's not like it's important to me.
It's pretty big, though. I mean, it's pretty, like I think of John Lennon.
The same way.
Yeah.
I want to get to the point now where you forget the negative sides of bad things.
How many other facts about Marvin Gaye's life do you know?
I know a lot only because I was interested in that music a lot.
Okay.
So I know song-wise.
Right, but how much about his life do you know?
I really, and even as I was saying that thing about how I knew a lot about his music, that was a lie, kind of a lie too. I just thought he was the cool. I'm kind of stuck in a certain way. I am kind of stuck with thinking that everybody had, I know this isn't true, but that everybody had the same upbringing idea. In other words, everybody had the hit song "Cherish" in their childhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, I don't have that same association.
Is that who did it?
Yes.
But then
I hope I'm right.
But then there's oldies and things. So then but it is true that when I was growing up, Don McLean's Bye Bye Miss American Pie was a big hit when I was like 12 years old or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Or 14 years old.
Yes, I am sure a lot of people have an
that
American
life.
Pie memory from that.
But not people of other generations?
No.
It's sad.
No. I mean, I vaguely remember, I remember that song being on the radio as a little kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know what year it came out. I think it was very early 70s.
I feel that I live not in a dream world, but I felt that we lived in a world where we were going to put Vietnam and political corruption behind us. And we got rid of the one president. So I thought from then on,
10 years you'd be on your own. Moss grows fat on a Rolling Stone.
It took me 10 years. It took me a long time to figure out what he was talking about in that song because I didn't know. Maybe it's not untrue what I think. He seems upset about, he doesn't like the Rolling Stones.
Doesn't like Bob Dylan.
Doesn't like Bob Dylan.
No.
And as I watched him on the stage, my hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan spell. Now that's Mick Jagger, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
The gesture was stealing the thorny crown.
Those are some good songs.
He stole Elvis's thorny crown.
So he had just emotional problems that went beyond the death of Buddy Holly.
I think so.
Do you think, when you listen to that song, do you think that, that's, how do you think of that song? Do you love, I love that song.
I think of a DJ taking a shit. That's what I think. Like, hey, I've got to go deregulate some cable here, people. So how about some Don McLean? American Pie.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Well, because, like I listened to Unchained Melody. I even told you that I listened to Unchained Melody as I was going home that night.
Yes.
But that wasn't the song we were talking about. The song we were
Unchained
talking
Melody is, oh, my darling, I'm for your touch. Just that.
Are you?
Yeah, it's that.
And he goes high.
Chain it in, baby.
Okay, but here's the thing. When I do it, it doesn't sound that attractive. But when you listen to that song, I know that you get sick of songs. That song gets me every time. And the reason why I'm not a music reviewer, never learned interesting ways to say things like that.
It got me.
It got me.
It didn't get me.
It got me.
This week, I got 2 get me's and it didn't get me.
Not my style. And I think it's one of the brothers is singing. They are brothers, right?
I don't know.
Bill Medley and somebody else.
Yeah. Someone not Medley, I think. So no, I don't think they're brothers.
This is one of my least attractive personalities. Is when I don't know a lot about something, I'm excited about it, and I'd like you to provide the rest of the excitement. Like, did you know that they were brothers? And did you know that you're not the person to go for that?
No. I don't care, and I don't agree.
About what?
I don't think they're brothers.
I don't think they're brothers either. I thought they were brothers, and I can't believe they could be brothers.
No.
One's Bill Medley, and unless the other guy is Bobby Medley.
It's Bill Medley and something not Medley, I think is.
My wife has a nickname for me when I get a little needy sometimes. Don't smother brothers me, she says.
Yeah.
Could you see me getting needy like that?
No.
Do you remember anything you did this last week? Yes, you do.
I do this particular week. I do. Yes. Pretty locked in on this week.
So you don't like the ongoing bit of me forgetting important events and then getting strangely dark. I can't believe I forgot. And then, I'm trying to find the upside of what a person like me would offer. That's the first time I've ever seen you look at your watch. I feel like this show is, part of me is feeling like this show is in the bag, baby.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
It's in a bag. It's in some receptacle.
Now, what are you thinking about? One of your famous breaks? Or you think that ruined last week's show?
I wouldn't mind taking a break.
Okay. We'll take a break. So, coming up in the show, thanks for listening to this. Some of these podcasts, they go, thanks for listening to this part of the podcast. We'll be right back after this, and they have a bunch of commercials.
Right. We don't do that. We play music.
Oh, what are we going to play this week?
What do you feel like?
I want to hear a Allison ballad.
Okay.
But you don't have to go that route.
No, I take requests. Here's one that we co-wrote. Although, when I say co-wrote with Allison, it's usually she has the whole fucking idea and I just write a verse.
But then you still get half the credit?
Well, whatever. So this is Allison. I'm playing harp on it. Harmonica, not actual harp.
Right.
And
mouth harp.
This is called... this one is in honor of my stepfather-in-law, Leo Davis.
Oh, that's good.
22-year naval veteran, special ed teacher for another full career, an all-around good dude. This is called Just For Me.
Just for me. Sometimes it's easy to believe on a cool, crisp day when everything's okay. It's how it's meant to be. I wanna notice everything. The grass 100 shades of green. scattered all around like an autumn colored dream. If the sky falls down, you'll be closer to the stars, knowing everything we'd ever wanted was ours. There's 1,000 ways to fall, maybe none of them is wise. But since the choice is ours, not just some higher powers, why should we be surprised? Did you do just for me? Two birds floating on a breeze. And it doesn't matter why, I love to watch them fly and feel their harmony. Did you do just for me? Closer to the stars, knowing everything we'd ever wanted was ours. Did you do just for me? Sometimes it's easy to believe on a cool, crisp day when everything's okay, it's how it's meant to be. Just for me, two birds floating on a breeze. And it doesn't matter why, I love to watch them fly and feel their harmony. Did you do just for me? Just for me.
Yeah. I know why I had to ruin it at the end there.
You just got all FM with it there.
Yeah, can you take my voice out? I'm going to go, yeah. Because I love her voice. That's Allison. She has an amazing voice. I love the way you play harp, too. I like when you get those, like, it almost sounds like a chromatic harp.
Yeah.
Where you get those one notes, like Stevie Wonder style.
I was going for that, obviously, because it was all single note, but I wasn't, I can't play chromatic, but.
Yeah. I can't play a regular harp, but I always like to, when I get around people play it, go, is that chromatic? Didn't think it was. But it's a beautiful song. And the arrangement was also good. And the voice echoing of the rhythm of the guitar. Who was playing the guitar in that?
That was Allison and Scott Pinkerton playing guitars.
Now, Scott Pinkerton,
yes,
is a whiz at sound. Does he also? Did he start off as one of these guys that plays every instrument?
He was that guy as a kid. He was, I think, a guitar prodigy as a young man, and played in bands. And then he was one of the first people I met in LA through Chris Bliss. And at the time, he was a roadie, basically. He was the keyboard tech for Little Feat.
Yes, I love that band.
And he had also done the Yellow Jackets and Larry Carlton and a bunch of other. He eventually did Fleetwood Mac on that big reunion tour. But he was also like one of the first guys I met in LA, and he and I liked making stuff. So,
yeah.
And I knew I had a resource with a guitar player that good and a guy, so. You're
saying you took advantage of his,
well, he had shut down creatively, so
is that true?
So the fact that I was like this eager, let's make some shit and pushing, he wasn't playing otherwise.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he was not playing otherwise. And it was also very early in the existence of Pro Tools.
Right.
So, and he was interested in that. So when he started getting Pro Tools rigs, I was like, well, we got to record something. Let's make something, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? In fact, I think it's later down the line, I'll play some songs that Pink and I made together early on in the Pro Tools days.
Yeah.
And, but he was like a really good friend of mine and really crucial in my adjusting to LA, because we'd go and have lunch 5 times a week sometimes, or, and just hang out a lot when he wasn't on the road or I wasn't on the road. He was from Youngstown, Ohio originally, and now he lives, he left town and now lives in Illinois.
And is he not he's not doing music?
He is not doing music or the music business anymore.
I want to leave alone.
And he's happy.
Well, how do people make a living these days?
In the music business?
Well, whatever he's doing. Does his mother...
He's in higher education now.
Oh, okay.
Much like my wife went from music to higher education.
I just feel
But Pink and I produced an album of Allison's together.
Oh.
On which a photo of Allison that your wife took is on the inner cover.
I think
it's a family affair. Anyway...
Well, that was lovely.
That was the break. I hope you did. I hope the rest of you liked it.
I hope the rest of you liked it.
Soon you'll either like the music break or learn that you can just zip ahead.
Well, first of all, I don't want anybody. Let's not. People. I don't want people
complaining about the music.
No one's
break,
complaining, and if they did, I'd be surprised why. If you
Woody Allen has lost us more listeners than the music break.
During the break, I specifically said to you when we come back, do not bring it up. I mean, I am getting a podcast though about Woody Allen.
Yeah,
it's called what would it be called? Losing
Apologist Weekly.
Oh, that's how you feel? I can't even get upset about it. I have been listening still to a lot of true crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I said
What's your favorite crime recently?
So far?
Because you've described the show over and over. So what's your favorite actual crime recently?
I'm now, well, there's nothing favorite about it because it's all depressing.
Yeah.
But now I'm listening.
But you like the Australian guy.
Yeah, I bring nothing to the table. That's why,
you bring the same thing to the table over and over and over again.
That's why I don't belong to a book club. Because I just as a boring. I like the book. I like the way he talked about the subject, and I like the way the words are used. But the guy from Australia just is fascinating to me, and he halfway through part 2 of his Jonestown thing.
Okay.
And you think
always a good story. How many parts is he telling it in?
3.
Okay.
And he said 3 you should not listen to, would not be appropriate for some people to listen to.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I will listen to 3 because here's the thing. I love this true crime stuff.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I know what happens but he had weird sexual things, and I mean, it wasn't just, I know you used to argue with that, except for the thing where he poisoned his followers. He was a normal guy, but he had some issues before it.
Huh.
But you know what is interesting is that he also advocated on behalf of the poor.
Yeah.
That was like his shtick.
How do you listen to the Jonestown story with not listening to part 3 is what I want to know.
Oh, no, I'm only halfway through 2.
I know.
I will listen to 3.
Okay, I would hope.
But then these things bring me joy, the podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'm
they
thinking,
taketh away.
Well, then that's what I'm worried about. Is there a downside? And will I all of a sudden be hearing, like, walking down the street and hearing, ooh, and then it'll be, like, frightening, and then I'll have anxiety.
You'll be like, hey, Kool-Aid. No!
But the thing is, I'm just telling you, this 3-part Jonestown thing will turn you around a little bit. I know you're anti Jim Jones. I say give it a shot because I think you'll turn around on it. You didn't hear what I said.
I did.
I said I was taking the position of somebody who was saying this was the real Jonestown story, that he wasn't responsible or something like that.
Oh, okay. It was like
because this
Jonestown conspiracy theories,
right? Because this same guy,
they were just crisis actors.
This same guy started telling me about this other podcast called Mafia.
What's that about?
It's not that you're doing your Groucho character more. It seems that you're more self-satisfied about it.
That's all I got. But
he's talking about the Mafia. The Mafia's going, I got to download this Mafia thing. And then he says, and then by expert Schmooky who did this guy, that guy, Lucky Luciano, this guy, and you'll learn all about the JFK mob connection on his assassination.
Yeah.
So does that? And all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, how I can't qualify. Is that true? That
Right.
and then
They've warned you this is a road to a conspiracy theory.
It does sound that way.
Yeah.
So maybe even the ones I'm listening to now, there was a Jonestown, right? That's the thing I worry about now. Is like,
No, it happened.
now I like to watch these documentaries. Like if you have cable, do you have cable or DirecTV?
I have cable.
So you go to the on demand and you go by genre and and that shows you all documentaries. Now some of them are great, and then some of them, and I'm not saying everything on Reels TV is bad.
That's just horrible.
Is it? It's Al Capone.
Prince's private life.
And they had Al Capone where 20 minutes of footage of not Al Capone making faces in the mirror and laughing and and they kept going back to it. It was like the footage they shot, because they didn't have real footage, was just Al Capone like preening in the mirror, adjusting his tie.
Yeah. No, they're like one level up from a podcast.
So they're across the board schlocky.
Every time I think, hey, that's someone I'm interested in seeing a documentary on, you go, oh, that's not a documentary. That is just fucking TV product.
Well, that's the thing. When you look by genre on your cable system,
I don't.
What do you do?
I just fucking roll the dice, baby.
What do you mean?
Scroll through my favorite channels.
Like, what do you mean? You scroll through your favorite? Oh. You were doing an impression of someone trying to be cool about an uncool thing, and it just sounded insane.
Pretty much what it was. Yeah.
I like to go through my favorite. Well, what I do me and the wife spend a couple hours a night customizing the cable system for us.
Yeah.
Deleting.
That's where it's at.
Deleting everything in Armenian.
Don't need it.
I've never done that. Have you done that? Favorites?
I do. But when I look at my grid, it's only the channels I want.
If everything else fails and we're stuck doing a Spectrum TV podcast or a podcast about microphones or something, that's pretty good. I like it.
This is good.
I'm comfortable doing it.
Speaking of hospices. All right, let's go to some questions.
Hey, you know what? I love the way you...
You know why? Because we're in the second part of the show.
I love the way you segue.
Thank you.
So stupid.
I love the way you derail my segues.
You know what? I made a promise to myself this week that I'm not going to derail anything. I mean, after what I've done so far tonight during this part.
From now on, no derailing.
I'm yes and I'm going to yes and the rest of the show.
Okay.
You're going to see such a difference.
Jim Meehan.
Hey, Jim. I think I was friends with him and followed him before the podcast. So don't go trying to glom on to everybody and claim that they're thought spiral people.
All right, Andy.
I don't even know if that's true.
So we're off to a good start.
I got a really sour taste in my mouth from that Jim Meehan question. I didn't know what it was.
There was no question yet.
Oh, okay. I'm
you
sorry.
Stopped us at his...
I'll wait.
At his name.
Now you have to read this question. Since it's about to read downtown Los Angeles, you're listening to Andy Kindler, The Quiet Storm.
Jim Meehan wants to know, if you were to do The Odd Couple, who would play Felix and who would refuse to do The Odd Couple? Followed by, I really like the new musical interlude, which is nice.
That's a great question. Why can't I be that funny?
That's what I ask myself every goddamn week, Andy Kindler.
But let's answer the question like I'm a Miranda and you're a Cameron.
Yeah.
Or a Carmine.
I'm a Carmine, the big ragu.
Carrie? Are you Carrie or are you Miranda?
I'm Carmine, the big ragu.
Who is that?
Laverne and Shirley.
I vaguely recognized what you were saying, but I didn't really know.
Yeah.
So, are you what's the question? What did he say?
It wasn't a real question. It was just a joke question.
Okay. Good. So you can't answer it incorrectly then.
You would play Felix because you.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. I would.
You
be
would
more
play Felix because you have OCD, and I would play Oscar because I'm disgusted by your behavior constantly.
But that's the thing. It's amazing though. This is the reason why you couldn't do it. It's the same way that you can't do it because you can't take advice about, oh, do you need, what did I think you couldn't do?
Anything? I think you're thinking of return a rental car to the airport.
No,
and get on
it
my
wasn't
plane
the
in a matter of time.
It wasn't I said to you, if I show you how to use this filter, would you use it again? But most people are not like you. They don't have skills at all.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, someone's going to show me how to make a cup of coffee. They do everything poorly. But you are more like, you were like, I'm not going to use the filter. But it wasn't because you didn't know how to use the filter. And that I couldn't process it, man. I couldn't process it. But meanwhile, I'm using the filter, and I swear to God, if you cut any of this out, I'm going to find out. You'll make me listen to the show.
Yeah, sure I will. So do you enjoy the December Dripper?
It is a great filter. You can adjust the amount of holes.
It's a dripper.
It's a dripper. Yeah, not a filter. You can adjust the amount of holes in it. I have to say that I go back and forth between the Kalita, but I tend to stay away from infusion style like French press. I'm not crazy about.
Yeah.
Siphon, I love. Siphon coffee.
Siphon, that's where you stick a hose into the person's cup next to you and suck it until it pours into your cup.
On odds and even day when you're during the gas. You old enough to remember odds and even day?
No. I mean, I remember hearing about it, but
Right.
I was...
You never were...
That was like 1974.
Yeah, no gas line for you?
No. Madison Trusolino, my partner, huge fan of the show, who doesn't understand Twitter, asks, what are your favorite movies from the 1990s and why? And does the writing of Aaron Sorkin and Quentin Tarantino bother you?
I'm going to draw a blank on the first part of that question.
Yeah.
And the writing of both of those guys does at times bother me. Tarantino bothers me more because I really don't watch many of the movies because he's always making a movie about a thing and they're dressed in a funny thing.
More Andy Kindler capsule reviews after this. Yes, I would both of their writing can bother me.
Yeah.
Things can feel incredibly overwritten to me. I always forgave Sorkin in The West Wing.
Okay.
Because of the context of it was always like this place where you hoped everybody was so erudite and pithy.
Yeah, right.
It was part of the sort of aspirational fantasy of it all. So it really fit there really well. Every other show for me, it felt forced and artificial. And it felt like I could almost hear the keys on Sorkin's keyboard as I was listening to the dialogue being spoken.
Yeah, I guess that's, but I guess, now, I was going to ask you, what's the, pervasive opinion? What's the overall opinion? But most people, but also you like that movie that I didn't like that much but I think I did like it though, the American President.
I did for that same reason.
Yeah.
It was the exact same thing. It was the White House, and therefore I wanted them to be smart, funny, pithy, screwball comedy kind of dialogue people.
Well, honestly, the only movie I really loved of Quentin Tarantino's was Pulp Fiction. I never saw Jackie Brown. What's another one?
Jackie Brown I really, really dug. The Hateful Eight had its moments, I thought. I liked...
the one where what's his name is a Nazi. It was pretty good, but...
Inglourious Bastards it was a pretty fun watch. And I like Quentin Tarantino's movies. The question was more about his writing. And
that's right.
And so...
I don't... Yeah.
I think
he can veer to the pretentious.
There is,
both of those people can veer to the pretentious.
Yeah. Like, I think a Quentin Tarantino film is more appealing than the thought of an Aaron Sorkin film.
Yeah. But do you watch all those, like, spaghetti westerns, whatever they call them? The cut 'em ups? It doesn't have the one with the
spaghetti westerns, the
blade lady, the killer blade lady,
Kill Bill.
Yeah,
I watched those both,
and you enjoyed those.
I did.
Yeah, I don't think something happened to me where I never want to see a movie where it's like a space movie, although I did see the movie Annihilation recently.
Okay.
and I was bored to tears.
Was that a space movie?
Yeah, I think it was a space movie. Yeah.
You think it was?
Well, it was. In fact, it was a space movie, but it was a kind of a space movie that had Jennifer Jason Leigh in it.
Space Times at Ridgemont High.
And it had Natalie Portman.
Last Exit to Space.
It was a very strange movie. It was slow moving. It was so slow moving that I was able to follow. You know how like those movies you can't follow the plot sometimes if they're outer space thrillers.
Right.
Sometimes
It's so hard to follow them. It's like the second half of Thought Spiral.
Well, the classic one I think of is Space Odyssey because I don't really always know what it means, but I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah. How bored you were?
No, I like that movie. Hal, he says.
You didn't say Hal.
Why? How did this guy get so angry?
I'm not that angry. Not that angry. You were just about to do an impression of Hal.
Hal's the name. Dave.
Yeah.
Hi, Dave.
That's it.
Oh, I know how it goes. Dave's not here.
That's it. Exactly. Cheech and Hal.
What's your position on Stanley Kubrick movies? I love them.
Good, bad, bad.
I'm so bad. I'm so unhappy I brought up that subject.
I like some Kubrick movies a lot, but you know.
But the one with Tom Cruise, I heard, wasn't that. Well, some people liked it.
All right.
And you didn't see it.
No, I did.
And did you see it with your eyes wide open?
I wished my eyes were wide shut.
I don't want to see Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise do weird sexual things.
I had no problem with that. I had just it was just such an old man's version of what sexy was at that point.
Oh, yeah, I can see
it. It was just like not sexy at all.
It's an old man's.
And movies from the 90s, honest to God, it's just such a blur to me. What's the 90s and what's 2000?
I think of TV. I think of The Sopranos. I think of the 90s.
Yeah.
But there must have been great movies. I just can't.
Of course there were. If we could do some web research, but
we're not going to do that.
That's too deep. That's too deep a dive for favorite movies. Shecky Flop Sweat says, too humid to try to come up with funny skit ideas, so I'll just say, stay golden, pony boys.
I like that kind of a email.
Do you know what that's a reference to?
Oh, God damn it. Stay golden, pony boys.
Stay golden, pony boy.
It sounds like Anchorman.
No, it's The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton and a Francis Ford Coppola film.
Now, The Outsiders, that's the one where he spent all that money making that set?
No.
Really?
Yes.
What am I thinking about?
I don't know.
I thought it was like a weird futuristic thing.
No. It was a 1960s boy gang movie with the entire Brat Pack was born out of that movie, as well as Tom Cruise.
But now it sounds to me that if I'm going to read between the lines, which my favorite thing is to misread between the lines or to get it all wrong.
So far, so good.
You didn't think it was a great movie, but
no, very good movie.
Here's the thing. Wasn't that the movie that was really good, but they thought it was going to be a huge box office hit or something like that? I know that some of the information that I'm conveying to you is correct, although it's not all wrapped up in one subject yet. I'm pulling from different truths. There was a movie Francis Ford Coppola made.
Yeah.
That cost him a lot of money.
Yes.
But it was a good movie.
One from the Heart, maybe?
That's it.
All right.
Was Matt Dillon in it?
Matt Dillon was in The Outsiders.
Okay, so now I'm back to that.
All right.
Hey, you know what would be a fun thing? Someone solves
Not this! Christy W. says, studies show that we become less able to recognize sarcasm as we age. As a half-Jewish New Yorker, this terrifies me. Would you mourn the loss of sarcasm? Yeah.
I can't top that response, but I will say I find it hard to believe that that could be ever go on you. Yeah, my sarcasm went on me in my 80s.
Yeah, they aren't talking about Jews, I don't think, when they're talking about sarcasm waning. Tom the Tom says, I think your podcast is funny and entertaining. My wife says meh. Which one of us is right?
What does his wife say?
Meh.
First of all, meh, I've always felt, I've never said meh in my life. So whenever someone says it, I neither recognize it and it always annoys me.
Huh.
What do you think?
So you're going to go with him then?
Well, I'm going to go with, you know what? The fact that his wife has that opinion of the show does not really bother me. I think she is entitled to that opinion. I'm always amazed that anybody likes anything.
Of yours or?
Of mine.
In general.
In general. I don't know. What do you think?
To quote Andy Kindler, you're not the worst comedy partner in the world because the worst comedy partner in the world wouldn't say anything.
Boy, I should get a reward for that one. I mean, that was off the top of my head, as it were.
It was good. It was fun.
Remember those days when I was quick?
Oh.
Whoa.
Seth Dick Trey says, in Top Gun, Tom Cruise's character had a flight nickname of Maverick. Others had Goose, Iceman, etc. What was Andy's flight nickname when he was landing planes on the carrier? Pogo stick? Steel trap? Third thing?
Well, he's combining the landing on the aircraft carrier with the David Letterman pogo stick event. And they both memories kind of make me queasy because both were landing on the aircraft carrier wasn't a lot of fun.
Yeah, he wasn't conflating the two. He was using that as a reference, as a funny nickname for you. Like that would be your flight call name, like Maverick or Iceman. Pogo stick. Pogo stick, check again. Something like that.
I guess
not with the fighting and the flying. Pogo stick here.
I had a nickname when I was a kid, so I've already gone through that.
Yeah.
Squeaky was my nickname at summer camp. Yeah. You can't top that.
No.
I was Squeaky, for real.
Yeah.
In the sense...
Hello. No, that's Squeaky. Sorry.
But everyone called me Squeaky.
Yeah. Then when I got older, I got lubed.
I want to say that the questions that we're getting are commensurate with our talent to repeat them. With our ability. Wow.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yamamoto.
Hey, Yamamoto. Andy's worst nightmare happened last night to Nick DiPaolo, which is to say an audience member punched him in the face after a show. Have you guys ever been close or sensed something like this about to happen on stage? Note that supposedly his set went fine.
His set it was before he was on stage?
It was after.
Oh, my God. Wait, the audience member hit him?
Yeah. Came up after the show and punched him in the eye.
And then what did he do? We don't know.
Apparently what happened was, I saw this story today. This guy came up to him after the show and said, hey, I really liked your show, but my daughter wants to punch you in the face. And then his daughter punched him in the face. And he didn't do anything back to her. But I assume he yelled or...
Should she actually give him a actual punch?
Yeah, like black eye.
That's a horrible story. That's a story that would make me never want to do comedy again.
Probably not.
It's a weird story.
Yeah.
Well, I hope Nick's okay. I hope the daughter is not separated from her parent.
I've had...
do you know I'm doing a reference to the...
to the news.
Immigrants? Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone... have you ever felt like someone's going to beat you up on stage?
Have you ever
felt impending violence happen during a show while you're on?
No, but I've been close enough to it where I was angry enough where I could see if I got into a shouting match with somebody, but luckily no.
Yeah.
How about you?
A couple times.
And what happened?
Bouncers were my friend both times. The most
Disturbing.
the most disturbing was in a bar gig, and it was one of those bar gigs where like the bulk of the audience wasn't directly in front of you. You remember those gigs where you'd like be facing the bar, and then there'd be people to your left and people to your right, like one of those gigs.
It's almost like it was a trick. They wanted to make a trick play.
So I remember doing this gig, and it was rural somewhere, and during my set, this drunk guy comes in to the bar off the street during my show, and he doesn't know there's a show going on really. So, and he's drunk already. It's clear. So he starts making a fucking scene. So I had to address him, and then I had to start humiliating him in front of a crowd of strangers. And he got really mad, and they got him to leave once. And then about 5 minutes later, he comes back in, and
Were you getting nervous?
I kind of nervous, but I saw that people had
Under control.
Had it under control. That they had bouncered him the first time.
Yeah.
But he's mad, and he's talking back at me. So I have no choice. It wasn't like I was going, you guys should see this guy on the back.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. Yeah.
He was center stage, so I had no choice but to either lose.
He wasn't on the stage, though.
He was not yet. And he comes back in, and I say, I don't remember what my bon mot was, but he just fucking charged at the stage. And they caught him, just hooked him around the waist as he got to the stage, and he never made it.
Were you I would have been backpedaling. What were you doing?
Well, I think I was like mic stand in one hand, mic in the other. I would have swung the mic first, I think, is my instinct, just because it was in my right hand.
That's true. That's true. Oh my God. And then did he have to be more than one person?
Then they booted him out, and he tried to come back in one more time, but they stopped him at the door. And then, so I waited a while after the show to leave because
he's who knows.
Yeah. So then there was one time, and I think I've told both these stories in the past year of doing this every week. There was in Bloomington, in Oxford, Ohio. There was a anti-Semite in the audience who was shouting Jew derogatory things at me, and I started pounding back on him verbally. And this time the audience got in between us and drummed him out of the room, basically.
Oh, but so there was no fight.
There was no fight, but it was easily going to come to that, and then the audience was just like, boo,
wow,
boo, leave, basically, until he left.
Man. Well,
both of those were in my teens.
Well, I would lose my temper a lot in the 90s when the crowd started to get really, really bad. So I definitely lost my temper and yelled at crowds. And even as recently as not that long ago, I have a little feelings of that come back, but hopefully not like in the 90s where I would yell more.
I don't think I've ever yelled at a crowd.
Well,
I've told crowds that they suck in various ways.
Yeah, that's what I kind of mean.
But I haven't berated. I haven't gone off on a.
Well, I mean, oh, this is great. A full room of people who have no idea why they're here, or I'm talking about like that, as opposed to I'm gonna, I sound like I'm tough.
Right.
I used to get very mad when in the 90s because the crowds got bad quick.
Right.
And because of
that's when I scampered off to television.
So, but I've been pretty lucky. I'm still alive, right?
Damn right. You're a survivor, Kindler. You're a survivor.
I'm a counterpuncher. You hit me, I hit you back harder.
Sam O says, do you guys have tips on pushing through that part of the creative process where you doubt yourself / your project, even though you've been working on it for years? Thanks for the laughs, thoughts, and spirals. Ultimately, my only advice on all of that is what's stopping you is fear.
Right.
It is all those doubts and all that hesitation and all that procrastination and all that going, hey, maybe I should do this other thing, is just fear of finishing that other thing and having it out there in the world for others to judge and judge you.
Yeah. So I think you're basically saying you should, if that's the reason why it's not continuing, you should try and finish
Well,
it.
it's hard to identify because your brain will tell you it's all these other reasons.
Right.
So that's my advice, is tell yourself, nope, this is just fear.
That, I think, but like for me, when I realized that I didn't like the violin, for me, I was too scared to quit. So,
Yeah, well, that was fear of your parents.
right. But now I found out that my mother said that I was scared that Mrs. Goldenberg would be upset.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it. I just can't believe how long it went on for.
I saw this thing, and it bums me out that it was Will Smith who said it. But it was this thing where I won't tell you the whole context, but the phrase that came out of it is, God puts the best things on the other side of fear.
Oh, wow. Why did it bother you? You don't like Will Smith expressions?
Not enough to like it's like, boy, I'd love to quote that.
Right.
But it's Will Smith.
Yeah, I don't think.
And also, parents just don't understand. Also Will Smith.
You know, a lot of people don't know that was a excellent group. DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah.
And I don't even know it, except for that one song which I loved. And people who like rap said they were really good, and that's all I can say. Because,
Which one? Summertime?
The group DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, but which song was the one you liked?
Parents Just Don't Understand.
Oh, okay, yeah. The rappers all thought that was really top notch.
Wait, no, I'm telling you that there are people who know rap. First of all, I don't know rap.
Yeah.
So I can't tell if the person I'm arguing with. I mean, I don't know rap, but I know what I like. but some people say that it wasn't a joke group, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince of but they were like, it wasn't like the sitcom, which I don't think we could say was the greatest sitcom of all time.
Did you ever see the video for Parents Just Don't Understand?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I loved it.
And it wasn't like a sitcom, is what you're saying?
It was done over. It had a "You Can Call Me Al" over the top style to it. To that Chevy Chase.
Yeah, no, it was nothing like that.
What was it?
It was like a bunch of acting out little scenarios with cartoonish characters.
Well, I will go to my.
It was a total literal acting out of the song.
Okay, well, this is something that I would like to hear from the listeners for, because I can't trust your take on
No,
rap.
you can't. No, you shouldn't. Let's call Ari Melber. Lone Shark. Hey guys, any thoughts, memories, stories about Pat Cooper? I used to listen to my parents' vinyl copy of Our Hero over and over. Was a kid and would laugh my ass off.
I only know him from the feud when he had with Howard Stern, and some memories of him from when I was younger. So I mean, he does make me laugh, but he mostly made me laugh his arguing with Stern. I thought was very funny. I don't remember seeing his act.
Yeah.
You must have seen his act.
I never saw his act. I saw his act in later life when he was already a Catskill legend kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I think there's some commonality between him and you in that sort of unreasonable angriness.
Yeah, I could relate to that, and that's why he made me laugh a lot when he walked out on Stern once, and he went to a doctor and he got his he checked his blood pressure. It was normal. He was surprised.
Yeah,
that was normal. But I wish I'd seen more people like that I haven't seen, like Shecky Green. I wish I could see some Shecky Green stuff.
Yeah, I could not quote a Shecky Green joke to you.
Neither. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do about it now because he's not performing much.
Yeah. YouTube. Greg Kelly wants to know Dream MASH lineup, and then he has various choices here.
The TV show MASH?
Yes. Blake or Potter?
Blake.
Potter. Trapper or BJ?
Trapper?
BJ. Frank Burns or Winchester?
I think Frank Burns is one of the greatest characters of all time.
Yeah, I gotta go Frank Burns too. Although I thought Winchester was an interesting way to bring in a whole other different kind of irritant.
Yes, he was good.
Colonel Flagg or Sidney Friedman as a recurring character?
Colonel Flagg, I don't know the Colonel. Which one?
Colonel Flagg was the the sort of pompous, secret, internal affairs guy who was always sneaking around. Blake, and he would come and investigate things.
I don't remember him as well, but I did like the other character. I thought was actually like an interesting.
Sidney Friedman.
Yeah, it was like an interesting.
Alan Arbus.
It looked like a documentary kind of style to the way he would act.
Yeah,
and so
I like Sidney Friedman. Colonel Flagg was a one-note joke.
Yeah.
Klinger in a dress or Klinger in Mudhead's cap?
I don't know the second reference.
By the last handful of seasons, he gave up on the dress thing, and he was just once Radar left and he became company clerk, he would wear.
Oh, he wore regular clothes.
Yeah. They only ran the dress joke for 8 years, or 7 years.
Klinger made me laugh. He's alive or not alive? Klinger.
I'm not sure. I think Jamie Farr's still alive.
He made me laugh, but I tried not to think about the character too much.
Yeah.
But they did have some of the funniest scenes.
I think it's it's one of the more problematic aside from the massive amount of sexual harassment in the show.
That does not hold up.
Klinger walks around as both a bad representation for both the trans community and the mental health aspects.
But I think I've told you this when the episode with Blake. It was with Blake, and he says, "I have to go home because my mother just died," and then he goes, "Oh, that's really sad." And then he goes back to the file. Goes,
Uncle died.
Mother died. Father died again.
Right. Right.
So that part I liked, and I always liked him. That's a tough gig that he had to do.
Jamie Farr?
Well, in terms of it being a model for trans people, I mean, I thought it was like
it wasn't a model.
It was not a model for anything.
He was not a trans character.
No, not even that.
He
wasn't
was a cross-dresser.
Right. But he wasn't even like a good cross-dresser.
I think he was a fantastic cross-dresser. He took it incredibly seriously. He just didn't take the.
He didn't do the voice. He didn't do a woman's voice.
Right. That's because he wasn't a transsexual.
Do you think that this conversation, the ignorance of my point of view on this part of the conversation, could end the podcast as a going concern? My ignorance of trans.
Maybe, but putting it into the realm of Max Klinger, I think is a new spin on the topic.
Well, I think it's safe to say that until recently, we haven't been very good with most topics.
It's true.
The show business or whatever.
Yeah, no
prejudice.
No, we I think have brought nothing to the table for over a year now.
No, why do you keep saying that? Like you have another partner. You're not ending it this quick. We're just starting to get.
We're just hitting our stride.
We're not gaining momentum, and I'm concerned about it. Yeah. But we are hitting our stride.
I did make it sound as if I was.
You were exiting.
Disgruntled. Yeah, I'm not really disgruntled. I had a death in the family.
That is.
It's affected my.
It's very true. And also I do think that this expectation of anytime I get into the expectation game.
Yeah.
With this podcast,
you start expecting things.
It's like, I hope, you're not going to have a good ending going, I want there to be a good ending tonight.
Okay, well, start thinking now. Well, don't, because then you won't listen.
Right.
Michelle Wisecarver, listening to TS58 right now. You two are sincerely the best part of my week.
Oh, that makes me happy.
I love your humor, and I love your humanity. Thanks, guys. Question for Josh. Any headway on a release date for the Michael Des Barres documentary, Really looking forward to seeing it. Now, do you see what you did? Like that first half of the thing, all made me feel very good.
Right.
That second half of it made me feel very stressed, very, very kind of
Right.
grumpy and stressed.
But now,
There's a little headway. There was a big stall out because of a couple of issues that are too boring to get into. But nothing has thwarted it. It's just been
Right.
delayed because of a couple of business issues.
I think until it's actually out, you will always have a twinge.
Oh God, yeah. It's
It's just like the CD that I have to put out.
it's a dead monkey on my back, which is a really weird sensation. Seth Dick III, what is the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist?
Well, an ophthalmologist is an actual doctor.
Right.
An optometrist is someone who can prescribe prescriptions, but it's is this a trick question where the survivor's buried? Because you're giving me that look like it is.
No, I'm just trying to.
An OD is, and the numbers are different in there. They use a different system for prescriptions.
Do they?
Optometrists, yeah. And you'll sometimes see it listed both ways if an optometrist does it.
Huh. Okay. See, I didn't know
I mean,
that.
if an ophthalmologist does it.
Right.
Well,
way.
am I right though in general?
That's how I would. I mean, I wouldn't have had that fact that I didn't know in my answer. But
Well, I wouldn't say they're not an actual. I know the way I said that, not an actual doctor.
I would say optometrist helps you with vision issues, and an ophthalmologist is full on eye health.
Right. But one requires going to med school.
Right. The other one is learning annex.
Why was I worried about? You know what I'm worried that we have some listeners who are optometrists and will be insulted.
The Plymouth Gym said, would Jeff Sessions biblically defend suffocating his terminally ill grandmother with MyPillow, asking for a big cross-wearing friend? Well, you know, part of the patented fill is used to is that it is euthanasia friendly. My patented fill will form a perfect seal around mouth and nose when pressure is applied from above.
But he probably, I think the MyPillow guy should not go down that road of marketing towards people for suffocation purposes. You know, even if it's a machine washable.
We'll take you out, just like we do in my home state of Minnesota.
Do you guys have what's it called? You can die.
A right to die law?
Yeah.
No, it's more of a policy.
Why are we Alan and Rossi?
At least we weren't Alan and Alan. The way you usually play it.
Woo!
Mark Thompson wants to know, what is a home handyman chore you've recently completed?
Oh, we hung, but it has to be with Susan's help, because I can't
Because it's high.
No, because I can't do these type of things. I don't have, I mean, I could, but I have bad, I'm not as good at it, and I have bad patience sometimes. We hung one of my paintings on the wall of the house you haven't visited yet, but it looks so great.
Oh, good.
And, we're doing work on getting drapes and things like that.
Yeah.
But we need a hand. Do you, not to say on the air, but do you have a great handyman?
I don't.
I don't. Nobody seems to.
I know people who do.
Really?
I'm one step away. I'm one degree of separation.
I
from a
thought that.
handyman.
I thought that you did.
Our friend Joel Madison has a handyman. I think we can use.
Okay. We'll work that out. Oh, not right now.
No. Chris wants to know, hitter with dugout or fisherman's friend monkey pipe / monkey pipe?
Is that a chill?
Huh?
Is that tobacco?
No, I think that's a preference for how you like to smoke pot out in public or out on the street.
Okay. What was the first choice?
One hitter with a dugout.
I don't like that.
I always did. As a young man, that was a go-to, was the dugout.
Right now, what I'm
Do
doing.
you remember the dugout, the wooden
No.
thing? Yeah.
Oh, okay, so explain to me what that is.
The dugout would both hold your one hitter.
Oh, I see. I do like
hold
that.
Pot, and you would dig
Yes.
the one hitter into the wooden dugout, and it had
Yeah.
like a sliding top.
Yes, that wasn't bad.
And it was spring loaded, so your one hitter would still go boing when you slid the top.
And that is always a fun add on to any hobby like
Yes.
that. The way I do like it most now is pre rolls. I love pre rolls, even though I don't mind rolling a joint.
Yeah.
But these pre rolls are they're just the way to go for me. See, that's another reason why I never have a pot show, because I have nothing specific to say.
Right.
Besides, I like it when it's rolled. I like it when it's estate grown.
Were you? Did you ever do getting dug with high?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How'd you do on that?
That was fun.
Yeah.
I have no memory of it, but it was fun. And like everybody who's been on that show, I want to go back.
Yeah. David Gogo, are you guys joining Space Force?
Is that Elon Musk's thing?
No, that's Donald Trump's thing.
Oh,
He literally today said that he's telling the Pentagon that he wants them to begin a Space Force as a full branch of the armed services.
so Army, Air Force, Navy, Space Force,
Coast Guard Space Force, yeah.
Coast Guard, Space Force.
yeah. Yeah, he wants a Space Force. And I think he even signed a thing that says, hey, get to work on that Space Force. Since we, of course, don't have a manned space program currently, I
Yeah.
assume the first several years of Space Force training is guys running around going pew, 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 with their ray guns.
Well, I'm one of these people who likes to, with every topic, forget that he's a madman and talk rationally about whatever it is that he says.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. Well, you know what? In this case, he might be onto something.
Yeah.
What you look tired now.
Was it the yawning that made you think so? Was that the social cue that made it come to?
You almost have a Dennis Miller.
Was that the social cue that made the light bulb go off across your socially brain dead head? It's Miller on
Karl
the
Marx.
sixes.
Look, Karl Marx. I bet Dennis Miller has not read anything of most of his references.
Traffic is backed up so bad on the 405 that it's like Orson Welles' colon after a cheese fondue party. This is Miller on the sixes.
Potato. Miller on the sixes.
Tweet Pahara. Josh, thank you for 7 steps down. My mom died in January, and yep, wow, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for telling us.
Yes. Also, tweet Pahara, Mr. Rogers, apropos of us bashing on Mr. Rogers last week, Mr. Rogers once cut me off in traffic in Pittsburgh. Completely ran a red light and cut me off.
I can't believe it.
I saw it was him, and
I can't believe it's true.
saw it was him, and my childhood officially ended at age 32.
Come on, Tweet.
Judge for yourself.
If that really happened, that's the greatest story. I would love to see Mr. Rogers in an un-Mr. Rogers thing.
Won't you suck my tailpipe? And finally from Tweet Pahara, Andy, call Moon Tower tomorrow. Why not start early? Live Thought Spiral in Austin.
Andy, oh yes, this is absolutely true. I've made the breakthrough, and I will be taking my talents to Austin for the podcast special.
Nice.
Why did you say finally? It was like you're doing a Leno bit.
Huh?
And finally...
No, I was doing the trio of Tweet Pahara tweets.
Ah.
Badger Blast, I request you teach us more phrases of similar quality to First Thought Theater. As it's comforting to listen to you two. You're the Jewish uncles I've always dreamed of having, and I love learning how to talk shit in Yiddish.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
It is. I'm kvelling. I want plots.
I got plots. I'm schwitzing from the whole thing. First Thought Theater.
That's one of my better pieces of descriptive comedy bashing.
It's like coming up with a Mona Lisa every night. but I think if we think about it more, no, not think about it, but keep our nose to the grindstone about it, or keep an ear to the ground, or I can't even come up with a catchy thing to describe what it is I'm trying to do.
Well, so we're fucked, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. That's about it, I think. I think
that's it. Josh, I want to thank you, first of all. I don't do this enough on the show. Thank you. If you want to see I Need to Kill.
I Need You to Kill?
I Need You to Kill. Make all the preparations for it. I'm going to be going to Montreal soon, so check into our live show. If you listen to this show and say, the only thing that left in my life on my bucket list is seeing these two struggle live, come down to see us at the Improv Comedy Lab.
July 10th. Go to our Twitter feed. The ticket link for the Improv Hollywood is there. Or just go to the Improv Hollywood website in the Improv Lab, July 10th. Thought Spiral Live. Write us during the week at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. Rate and review us on iTunes if you would. And buy a shirt or a mug over there at Zazzle.com.
And
/thought_spiral.
My new book called ## is coming out.
Yeah. It's a cookbook, right?
Yeah. It's a cookbook. I love you. Good night, Mrs. Calabashes. Good night, Mrs. Calabash. Good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are, is that it?
Mrs. Calabash tag.
Yeah, that's a good closing line.
You think?
Not really, but if it means the show's going to be over, yes.
Gold.